Beer to Whiskey crew. Welcome to this segment of Beer to Whiskey. I'm Russ Heaps, and I happen to be in my hometown of Greenville, South Carolina, here spreading the gospel of good taste as we constantly do. But we are in the bowels of Sobeys, New South Cuisine. It's the premier restaurant in downtown Greenville, and it's part of Table 301. They've got, I don't know, about 7 or 8 different restaurants down here, Nosedive and Passerelle and Lazy Goat and a bunch of others. Anyway, they were kind enough to let us come down. We're in their wine room, which is down in the basement, and you can rent this room, or I guess not even rent it. You can just ask for it, right? And it's got a table that seats about a dozen, and it's really a great, it's a unique, great space, particularly for a private party. But having said that, well, John, what do we want to? Well, let's let Drew.
Let someone else do it this time.
Drew do the heavy lifting.
We want them to like and subscribe, Russ.
That's it. That's it. Click on the thumbs up. Click on the little wood icon at the end, and you're all set. New video comes out every Thursday at 12 noon, just like clockwork. I'm here with the bar manager of Sobeys, Brian Urigo, and he is sort of our security guy here. He's making sure that this is all on the up and up, and is taking care of keeping things secret. And exactly what you do here, Brandon.
So we got a.
Did I call you Brandon to begin with?
He called me Brian.
That's what I thought.
I've only been serving him for like 10 years.
Yeah. I've only known him for 10 years. Jeez, his daughter's named after me, for the love of God.
Named his daughter Rusty.
Yeah, she's going to get bullied a little bit in school, but hey.
Hopefully she doesn't look like it.
No, thank God. Well, you know, this is we've already done one segment of this. I'm lucky I'm still standing, actually. So, Brandon, what'd you do here?
So these are all blind pours. They don't know what's in each glass. And
we know bourbon's in it, but that's all we know.
So we got numbers on the sheets, and they'll basically taste them one by one, and write up, you know, how they think about the finish, the taste, notes, and that's it.
Well, I just want to mention that we do have Old Forester 1920 Prohibition style, which I know you guys pour here.
Yes, sir.
And tell me a little bit about that. How'd you come to choose that here?
I got a list of selections that one of the reps has, and I came across Old Forester. It's when I was kind of learning a good bit about bourbon, and I actually sent Russ a text, and I was like, hey, what do you think about Old Forester? Then I started looking into it, and
my response was,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, but it's pretty cool. They just opened up a brand new distillery on Whiskey Row last year, and it's a huge place. They spent a ton of money on it. You know, they do tours. And their 1920 bottle is basically a replica of what they were doing in back rooms during Prohibition.
Well, they were actually doing it. They were one of the few distilleries that were allowed to distill, make it, and sell it. I guess for medicinal.
For
purposes.
medicinal purposes, yes, you were. Yeah, they were one of the few, like 6 distilleries that still have a license.
Probably the coolest thing about their distillery that they reopened, it's in the actual building where their original one was pre-Prohibition.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, their operation in downtown Louisville.
Brandon, when you said they opened last year, is that 2017?
2018. Yeah.
2018?
Yeah, I think it was in June, July.
It's 2019.
Well, that's why I asked that question. Thank you.
Man, wait until we start doing long division. All right, I think that takes care of it. You can go about your business. We'll give you a shout when we're done, and you can tell us what we picked. Let me introduce our elite panel here of big guys. This is like a big guy.
That's right. We're guys and not boys anymore.
Give them a little whiskey before each time.
Yeah, I'm going to keep promoting you.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep promoting you. To my immediately left, towering over me, is my fraternity brother Randy Porter, who came down from Ohio to do this, and he brought about half of these things are things that he brought, and the other half are out of my collection. But he and I have known each other for close to 50 years. We were Fijis together at Wittenberg University. Next to Randy is Drew Wortham. What can you say about Drew? Nothing that I can really say on camera, but he does bartend at Smoke on the Water in downtown Greenville, as well as Smiley's, which is a couple of blocks away, and I'm sure he would love to see you. Stop in and say hi. Maybe not. I don't know. At the very end, last but not least, is our PhD of craft beer, Big John Richards, and since he actually does have a palate and can taste things, I thought it'd be good to add him to the panel here.
That's why I located myself next to him.
Yeah, Drew's doing some copying. So let's kind of run through the contenders here. These are all 100 proof or more. And what happened is the last segment we did below 100 proof. We came up with 2 winners from that. We'll come up with 2 winners from this. And the next segment, all 4 of those will participate. But anyway, these are the 100 and plus. And here first we've got Noah's Mill, which is actually a Willits brand, and it's distilled in it's not distilled, it's bottled in Bardstown, Kentucky. This is a bourbon that they use all kinds. It's a blend, and they use all kinds of different bourbons sourced from all over the place. And those bourbons are aged anywhere from 4 years to 20 years. And let's see if there's anything else I have on here that's worth talking about.
Should do a price point.
Oh, here it is. It's on the back. Yeah, price point is.
I see the one. That's
is 40. It's 49 to 64. This particular bottle happens to be 53.
Yeah, I do.
53 bucks. It's 114.3 proof, which works out to 57.15% ABV. And so that's what that is. Here we have, this is Elijah Craig, and I have to say their small batch is one of my favorite accessible drinking bourbons. It's a wonderful bourbon. Elijah Craig, I didn't write the price down for. What'd you pay for that?
I think I bought this in New Jersey for around $55.
Okay, so you're probably good 50 to 60 or 65, I would say. The mash bill is 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley. It's aged 12 years. The particular proof on this is...
the proof is 133.4 or 66.7% alcohol by volume.
Right. This varies every year, and so the proof can be anywhere from 128 to 140. Next to that is the Old Forester 1920 Prohibition style that we already talked about a little bit. It's 55 to 65 bucks. The mash bill is 72% corn, 18% rye, 10% malted barley. Does that add up to 100%, Drew?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. I was thinking about all this booze in front of me.
It's 115 proof, 57.5% ABV. At the very end, we've got Old Grandad 114. Old Grandad now is actually being distilled by Jim Beam. This is coming out of, I'm pretty sure, Louisville. And as the name indicates, no, I'm sorry. No, that's right. Yeah, it's Jim Beam. And where am I here? No, right there. 26 to 33 bucks a bottle. It's the mash bill is 63% corn, 27% rye, 10% barley. It's 114 proof or 57% ABV. And those are the ones that are doing here. What we're going to do, we're just going to kind of smell them, swirl them, look at them, sip them, taste them, talk about them, and then we're gonna score them from 1 to 10 for color, nose, taste and finish. And out of that, we'll pick 2 winners. So, guys, let's.
Here we go.
Here we go. Number one.
We're practiced at this now. We can do this in our sleep.
I'm gonna just
Hopefully.
ignore you guys and do my own thing. Yeah.
I would say 2 and 3 are the darkest.
It's really hard for me to tell.
1 and 4.
2 is certainly darker than.
Yeah, 1
One
and 4
is.
are kind of light.
Almost have to get down.
I'd say 3 is definitely going to be the darkest. Here, 2 and 3.
I would say.
Yeah, number 3's darker
Yeah.
than number 4. I can tell you that.
This is so scientific.
Great.
This is very scientific.
1 and 2
Okay.
look pretty much identical to me
Yeah.
in terms of color. I'd say 3 is the darkest of the
3 is
4.
definitely the darkest.
So, all right, we on to the nose now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to the tasting, so.
Right.
I got to smell it.
Move the other stuff along. I'm actually really pleased by the nose on that one.
Yeah.
There's some fruitiness.
It's very,
in
it's
there.
very smooth.
It's- yeah,
nothing's too overpowering. It's very
Right.
balanced.
Oh, number 2, I get vanilla right away.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
really get that
Yep.
vanilla.
A lot of sweetness in that number 2.
We've talked about it a little bit before on some other whiskey tasting segments. Vanilla is a fairly common thing in bourbon in terms of aroma and taste, simply because the chemical reaction of the alcohol going in and out of the oak barrels produces vanilla. And so that's one reason why almost always
Number 3's not getting
you'll get
It's-
vanilla.
I'm trying to figure out this number 3 because I've got. It smells like I feel like I'm smelling something like molasses or almost pancake syrup in there.
Go for a point of nostril.
Well,
No.
yeah, okay, number 3, if you're, that's probably maple syrup. If you get
It may be maple that I'm smelling.
Right.
It might be on your fingers.
And that's all I want to know about that.
Right?
4 is definitely different.
Yeah, number 4 is a little more like
Almost more, not necessarily boozy, but
it's boozy. It's
it
phenolic.
does. It smells more like bourbon than the other 3. Like
Man, I'm really having a tough time, you know.
it's in there.
I mean, the vanilla, I
Medicinal
I
almost.
definitely get vanilla out of number 2 for sure.
It tastes medicinal.
Hope it feels medicinal. Though.
There's a fine line you tell when it comes to medicinality.
Wait.
Number 1, I really like it.
Yeah, there's something.
Yeah, there it
I
is.
really like it. There it is.
I really like it.
That's what we did.
That's right. It's higher in alcohol.
It's smooth.
There's something
It's got a real nice smooth finish to it too.
really kind of fun and almost like plummy in this number 1. There's all the molasses. Put that on your palate and it just turns into
Just coats it.
yeah. A lot of spice in there. As I expect every one of these is going to have
Yeah.
a big boozy spice note to it. Actually, that's really covered up nicely in the finish too. That's pretty well rounded. That's a lot of travel in that.
Yeah. The number 2 is pretty mellow. I think. It didn't really quite kick me with as much spice as I anticipated.
Yeah, I'm pulling second time through a little more butterscotch out of this.
A little more sweetness. Yeah.
You can, to me, this has got more of a alcoholic
Ooh,
kick to it.
the front of that's really like peppery, boozy,
Right.
spicy. The finish on it is too. It dries right up in the back.
Yeah,
Interesting. I thought it was. It kind of settled a little bit easier for me.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That makes me feel like I'm going to breathe fire.
I'm with you on that. One of the reasons why we decided to split these up, Ports and I talked about this, into the under 100 and over 100, is because when you get into these kind of proofs, I'm not crazy about them, and it wouldn't have been fair in my scoring because it would have all been the lighter.
Get a little bit more into this one though. Butterscotch,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, I'm getting
Right
a little
there
more
on top.
sweetness, but I'm still tasting that. I'm still pulling that kind of
Oh yeah.
phenolic.
Number 3, right on the tip of your tongue, is sweet.
Is that right? I haven't gotten into the taste yet. I'm still stuck on this. It's like I'm getting a acetone off the front of this, just a touch. So boozy on the nose.
It's definitely spicy. On the finish.
Ooh, that's real spicy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of body there. There's a lot of sweetness on the palate there. And there has to be covered
Yeah,
up
it kind
that
of
boozy.
rolls from a sweetness to a spicy.
Yeah.
In fact, I think the nose on this is sweeter than what the taste is on number 3.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. 'Cause I got almost nothing but sweetness out of the nose. And I got a lot of spice when I
Wow, let's
tasted
see. All I'm getting is that boozy.
it. Even on the
That is a big.
That's
That is a
on
big booze.
On the nose, it's especially boozy to me.
See, I didn't get that on the nose, but I don't have much of a smeller either.
But what do we know, Russ?
I know. I'm down here in the remedial end of the tasting table here. I'm just here because
Honestly, I think what we've done is we've split up the two smart people. I just kind of lean into John for his notes, and you kind of lean into him for yours.
I'm just here because I like bourbon.
Oh, same.
I'm just here because I told I'd get to drink for free.
Number 4, I don't know what I'm. It's got a definitely a different nose to it.
It's off the. It's away from the rest of them.
This almost has that blend feel to it. Almost
Yeah.
feels like it's the Noah's Mill. That's the only blend, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the quietest on the nose of the 3. How many are we
4?
doing?
Okay, count off.
I'm having a real difficult time trying to score a lot of difference in all of these. I really am.
Well, I am too
Honestly,
because
there's not much
they're so big.
of note to this one to me on the taste.
It's
It's pretty I wouldn't say lackluster.
there's no rough edges. There's nothing that stands out in there.
It's good, but it's nothing really special.
Yeah, it's really smooth.
Yeah.
And I think
there's nothing that really stands out, but it's not a bad flavor.
No, I like the flavor and I like the fact that it's smooth.
Yeah, it's very smooth. It's definitely smoother than the other.
There's not as much. There's not as much booze or as much heavy
Yeah.
spice as there is in some of the others. How you guys? Well, I was gonna like you guys had a choice on this. Like, why do we keep putting the mildest one as the last one we taste?
I don't know. It's I
That's
blame
Brian's fault.
I blame Brian.
Which one of these did we say was the darkest? Was it
One.
One.
I think it's 2 or 3.
Yeah,
I'd say
I
3.
thought it was 3 too,
Yeah.
but it's hard to tell anymore.
Should have started writing this down earlier.
We got to do math.
We gotta start recording ourselves.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting on number 2 the maple syrup. I really get maple syrup on
Yeah.
the nose on that one. I really like that. I'll give that one an 8.
Give it an 8 ports.
Give it an
Yeah, I'm done with 0.5s.
8. Right. No fractions.
That's what I get for being a smart ass last time.
This is really difficult. for
This
me.
is a nose heavy round.
It is.
I think you're right. I'm catching more booziness on the 3 now, because the 2 is certainly much sweeter. I still got the butterscotch though.
Yeah.
I'm really struggling with these guys. I don't know about you. Trying to differentiate a whole lot of different tastes.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all.
Honestly, the one that feels like the odd man out to me is number 4. Not that it's bad, but it doesn't have as much uniqueness.
It's so different from the other 3. It's so.
Each one kind of has its own.
It's so
thing.
much more mild.
Right. That it's very quiet. It's just kind of exists.
Well, while we're sitting here tasting and letting this stuff go through our synapses to try to figure out what we're doing.
Do you have an amusing anecdote for us?
Not an anecdote, but if you
How do you
want
spell synapse?
synapses, I don't
Synapses.
know. SYNA. I don't know.
Is it synapses or synapse?
Synap. But I would definitely give a shout out to Sobeys. If anybody, I'm from Dayton, Ohio, and this is the second or third time I've been to this particular establishment, and it is an outstanding restaurant, bar. The architecture inside is stunning. So if you ever get to Greenville, South Carolina, definitely downtown Greenville, definitely stop into this place.
It's an anchor for Greenville, and it has been for some time.
Yeah.
We were really lucky that they were able to host this for us. I mean,
I'm glad you remembered to bring something up because I stopped to wonder how much fun it is to watch all of us go.
Some of this is going to get.
Yeah.
There's going to be a little editing.
Oh, good. There's 8 more minutes of them just standing
Yeah.
there.
You see the top of that guy's head
This
again.
is riveting.
I like them all. There's nothing in here that I've tasted that I dislike. It's very hard for me just to
The
really
problem is with the higher proof is that the finishes are a bit more harsh.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying. You got
Overall.
to with the higher proofs, you got to find taste profile that'll overcome
That booziness,
the
and that bite,
booziness, and
that
that's what number 3 is not doing for me. Whatever that number 3 is, all I'm getting is the booze.
Honestly, the only one that
Yeah.
has had a really good finish for me so far is number 1.
That
No,
finish
number
on
two,
one,
number 2 had a great flavor.
I
but
nearly
kind of,
gave that number 1 a perfect finish
Yeah.
again.
honestly, even the taste of number 3.
No, it's just nothing. There's nothing.
It almost. I wouldn't say it gives me that rot gut feeling, but it almost kind of doesn't go down smoothly.
right. Kind of burns all the way down. And some of that you like, but I'm just not. That whatever that number 3 in is not doing
Yeah,
it for me.
There's something in it because the nose was nice and you know,
Right.
sweet but then it kind of got this booziness to it, and it just kind of it's not sitting as well with me as I'd like it to.
No, this is totally unscientific. I think.
I don't think anything we've done today is
No,
scientific.
really.
Just because we have the beakers doesn't mean that we're scientific.
My scores on these are all going to be very, very close.
All right, I used a 0.5.
Good for you.
I couldn't give it an 8, but I thought it was better than a 7.
Total them up, boys.
Well, I got my scores, and they're almost all identical. So.
And I have I'm even more clear winner in my scores, but the one last time I felt like the one that I scored highest, I scored higher than anybody else did here, that number 4, and I just felt like that was absolutely the clear winner out of the last round.
I didn't have anything break 30, honestly. Weird.
I mean, I go back and retaste them, and then it's like, oh well.
It's, I mean, in a straight tasting sense, it's so hard for these things to really measure up because they're so big. But as we discussed in the last segment, I like things that taste a lot.
Right.
And so these things just, I think, work for me a little better.
All right, Russ, are you ready to total these up?
Let's
Tally
get Brian
these.
down here.
Yes, I am. I've alerted Brian/Brandon that we are ready to go. Okay.
Well, I can get my. If you want to grab my phone.
Tack to-
John
I got it.
John's got
Big
it.
John's got it
All
covered.
right.
All right, number 1. Are you ready, John?
Go.
Number 1, I got 31.
I have 30.
I have 29.
I think I sense a clear winner. I got 124 on that guy.
Okay. Number 2, I've got 33.
I had 29.
I also had 29.
I mean, I was not as clear a winner as I thought on that one then. 123.5.
Drew and his .5.
That one wasn't me.
Oh, wasn't it? Okay.
Yeah, that was me that time.
Oh, well, John. Okay, number 3, I've got 24.
I have 28.
I have 26.
I guess I should be telling everyone what I have. 25.5 on that one. 103.5 total.
And
Yeah, that's clear cut, not the favorite.
yeah, number 4, I've got
Easy
28.
pickings on that one.
Okay, 28 and 27.
27 and a half.
And I have 29 on
Looks
that
like we're
one.
going with 1 and 2.
111.5 there.
Okay, so number 1 and 2 are our favorites.
Yep.
Yep.
Now we gotta find out which one's which.
We're sitting here talking and trying to figure out what different things the nose and what it smells like and tastes like. So what I've done to try to, enhance my ability to taste and smell things, when I had this bottle out and I had a bottle of Henry McKenna, I was tasting them side by side in my family room.
Yeah.
And then I pulled up a YouTube video from some other people that had reviews of these various bourbons. And one person said they got a very, very heavy thing of maple syrup. And then and maybe it was just power of suggestion, I don't know, but, and I smelled the Henry and I smelled this and all of a sudden, boom, it was like the maple, it's like Aunt Jemima just popped right out of the glass, so I don't know.
No, that's a real thing, and it's we talk about this, and partially is power of suggestion, but it's also your brain is trying to figure out what that thing is, and as we coach people to taste beer, we tell people to go back and not search for trying to find like maple syrup, but where that memory came from.
Well,
so you're thinking along, you're like, what is that there's something
Yeah.
that's happening. It's grandma's cookies, or it's
Yeah.
mom's waffles, or it's something that made me think of that flavor. And you're like, oh, that's where the trigger is,
Yeah.
and then you can place what the actual flavor
I
is.
was
Okay, so so we've got the scores here, Brandon. It's number 1. It was 124. Number 2 was 123.5, and the other 2 were distant 3 and 4. So, what do
what
we
was
have
what
here?
here?
the great reveal here.
All right, so number 1, you had the old granddad.
Get out of town!
Wow, the old granddad, unbelievable.
Wow, I never saw that coming.
And number 2 was the Old Forester 1920.
Okay.
Number 3 was the Elijah Craig. And number 4 was the
Noah's Mill.
Noah's
Mill,
Mill.
which
Yeah.
you called you called that one, Drew.
Yep.
Yep. So that was the. All right. Well, there
There's
you
the
have it.
scientist
So,
now, right?
Old Granddad and
Wow.
Old
I was
Forester
very
will be
surprised
going
by
into
that.
the
That's
finals in the next segment. And with that, I want to.
Well, what's our competition? It's Old Granddad and Old Forester versus
The Evan Williams.
Evan
I
Williams
believe.
and what was
Heaven's
it?
Door.
Heaven's Door.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Knocking on Heaven's door.
knock, knocking on.
You're gonna get hit with you're gonna get hit with a copyright infringement.
Oh yeah. Now we're not going to be able to show this.
Right.
Brandon, want to thank you for helping us out with this one. And with that, we'll see you next time.